Don't say we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle, the ASU strike.
Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a lie. The president never gave me any deadline.
It's a beautiful day right here, and a special welcome to another Monday, the first working day of the week. And of course, this is Global Television and it is Global Morning. We hope you get your day started on a very beautiful note. Here we are, alive. Here we are, breathing. Here we are able to say good morning to our neighbors when we woke up this morning. It's a privilege. But as it is right now, we are so excited. You know why? Because we are among the living, and we are here this morning so we could at least talk. You are there, we are here, and that's what makes it Global Morning. And my name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and of course it is already seen me on Monday. You know, it's the Taxi Monday, and of course Jumai Manson is also here. I want to say something, but I won't say it now. I may be telling you later if I'm led to say it about her. But if I'm not led, I'm not going to say it. Good morning.
Good morning.
You want me to waft that smile?
No, work the smile. Yes, please.
Okay, I should waft it. It's just like $35 billion.
Just
$35 billion. Convert that to Naira. Convert that to Naira. That's what we think these days. Yeah. If you mention Naira, the next thing is the conversion rate.
Exactly.
It's good to have you live and kicking this morning as usual.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Of course, you know, it's a Tag Team Monday, and it's amazing. I'm happy that we're here this morning, and to each and every one of you out there, how you all doing today? Hope you're having an amazing time today. And I am Jumai Manson. It's great to be here.
Yes, of course, it's great to be here, and it's so great. It's greater, all right, that you are there. It's great that we are here. It's greater than you are there. So greater. The greatest thing is that the two of us are going to converse this morning. Just not just me and Jumai Manson, but then you are there, and you are the reason we are here.
Exactly.
Because we need to bring you to speed with the latest informations, news and current affairs. And you know, if you're not informed, you are deformed. And that's the reason we get started with the national dailies every day, to keep you informed. As you're moving out of your house, you already have a tip of what's happening out there. So you're not taken by surprise with circumstances. Remember where we are. This is Nigeria. You know, I told someone, I was asking a question. I said, if you go to every other state, they'll tell you, welcome to this state, welcome to Ebonyi state, welcome to Kogi state. But if you're going to Lagos, they'll tell you this is Lagos. What does that mean? It mean you've come to where you need to be at alert, because so this is Nigeria. No, I'm just trying to make a comparison, because I wanted to say this is Nigeria.
They say there's a slogan for that. They say Eko Oni Baje.
Eko Oni Baje.
That means Lagos can never be spoiled at all. So they're telling you.
Koti Baje now.
Koti Baje.
Kole Baje. Nigeria no Kole Baje.
Exactly. So they're just trying to tell you that they know their terrain. That okay, you're welcome. Just get inclined to what is happening. We're here and you're there, and so everything's going to be fine.
Something happened in Kwara State.
Tell me.
That a masquerade had to front a protest. See, that's the level we are getting to, because
really?
Sometimes if you want to attract attention, you do something abnormal. Yeah, that's it. If you want to attract attention, you do something abnormal. And that's exactly what happened. A masquerade had to front that protest in Kwara State because they were moved from, is it band B or band C to band A? And you know what that means? Means you may not have the power supply, but you will be forced to pay a particular amount. And if you want to talk about power supply in Nigeria, some persons were rumoring it. when some ministers were asked, we are shown the way out. You know, that's what the president did. When he came up, he said, well, any minister that's not working will be shown the way out. And of a truth, some persons were actually shown the way out. And some persons were of the opinion that the minister of power needs to also be shown the way out, because the epileptic supply of power in Nigeria has actually crippled a lot of things.
Yes,
people can't do businesses anymore.
You can't do businesses anymore. It's really, really bad. It doesn't matter whether you're, I don't know about the people in band A, but it is epileptic. As I'm in band A, and it's really epileptic, really, because throughout the night there was no light and all of that.
Just yesterday.
Not just yesterday. It has been up and it has been through and fro, like throughout this month.
So does it mean someone somewhere is trying to play on someone's brain here? You tell me I'm in band A, and what band A takes is that I'm going to have power supply 247. 247, and but it's not there.
And it's just unfortunate that this is what it is. I always talk about value for money, and the worst now is water. You know, there's some places now that they'll tell you water has come in the upfront, but there's some people that do not receive water. Like Water Board have a lot of things to do when it comes to water. It's worse in Caro. There's this Caro Axis. It's worse when they tell you that they haven't had water for 8 months. So you can imagine what that whole community is.
We have Water Board in Nigeria?
Can you imagine?
It's been a while.
But truly, we do.
I could remember hearing of Water Board. That was like so many years ago. I don't know if it's still functioning.
In some parts, but there are some places that is not functioning. I know of a particular community in Karu site as we speak. We were talking about it yesterday. There is, in fact, no water at all. It comes in, and then you know the worst part, they come with their bill, and yet you do not give value for your money.
Water bill. You now hear that people pay also water bill, not just power bill, not NEPA bill, like you know, PHCN bill. You know, people also pay for water too. But these are social amenities. These are natural resources. Water is a natural resource that someone is supposed to enjoy. But then making it happen, bringing it to your house is the reason why you have to pay for maybe maintenance or something.
But you're not getting it, and yet you want to
Is it not the duty of the government to provide water for the people?
Very important.
Road, water, healthcare.
And you know the worst part about, this water part is really, I'm really pained about is because, and they have their pipes that has the connection, but yet you come in to take the monies and you do not fix all of these pipes, and it's really, really bad. People find it very hard to get water, especially in that carousel. And of course, the NEPA office is not very far from it. It's just unfortunate though, but this is what it is. People are going through a lot, and then you come with your bill, and yes, you don't give value for money, and you expect everyone to be happier, to say hooray, hurrah. No, no. Of course, these are the things that you see. For the masquerade to come out, am I surprised? No, not at all.
Well, that's for Kwara State, where the masquerade had to come out to front the protest, but then that's to tell you that so much is happening in Nigeria.
So much.
Nigerians are very resilient. Nigerians are very strong people. The economy is still trying to take shape. I don't know. There is a lot of distraction right now. Politicking instead of governance is something that I can't just imagine. You know, instead of you governing the people, providing dividends of democracy, you are politicking. You know, campaigning directly or indirectly for whatever reason. A lot of things happening right now to bring distraction. You see Boala coming to say, well, Ndume, as a matter of fact, is going to be joining the opposition, the Atiku and Obi faction. You hear a lot of things. You hear that Okpebolo is now doing campaign for APC in 2027. You hear things like NEC will still be meeting to decide who will be the national. See, all these things are distractions. But then we should know as people in governance that we owe the people good leadership. You know, I'll keep saying it. If you're good, all right, if you have done what you are supposed to do as someone in governance, let's say a House of Rep member, for instance, you've done what you're supposed to do, all right, for your people. During the next election in 2027, you don't even have to do much.
You don't need to campaign.
You don't even need to campaign.
Because people already know your worth.
They know your worth. They want you back. It's a matter of return ticket. Hey, come on, which party? Come give him the return ticket. We want him back there.
And people will actually come out in mass to support.
To support you.
Because you've done the needful. You've met the needs of the people. You've met the needs of the community or the society at large. So definitely people will actually come out and say, hey, we want this person back. Whether you like it or not, this is the person whom we choose and this is the person whom we want.
Well, that's very important. I think this is a food for thought for everyone in governance, not just people in governance, but every leadership position that you occupy. It is good to do the needful, what is expected in that office, so that the campaign, in fact, people, when you want to leave, people will not want you to go because there is a footprint already, and they might feel, well, if you go, who is going to fill up the space and all of that? So you don't need to spend that money for that campaign in 2027. So that money you are piling up for 2027 campaign, use it in your constituency. Use it for the people around you, all right? So that it will be an express voting for you in 2027. Talking about 2027, Jega just came to my mind. You know, over the week, Jega spoke about the fact that, you know, a lot of honorary awards right now. You see, Dr. this person, some of them never saw the four walls of the university, but they have honorary award degree, you know, in Nigeria. And he's saying varsities should stop giving honorary awards to people that are not really worth it. But now, if you have the money, it's automatic ticket for a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
Because I know of two persons. Well, they are school, they are good, but then they are now doctors. So sometimes you find it very difficult to even say doctor this person because you are used to the previous nomenclature. But then they've been given. But I think that's correct. Don't just give people honorary award because you feel they have money or because they can buy it. They should be worth it. All right, they should be able to defend it because the university giving out this honorary reward. These people are your ambassadors wherever they go. The ambassadors of the university. So imagine how it will look like if someone bags a honorary doctorate degree from a university and you go out there and you can't represent the university or you can't defend that honorary award.
Or you forget that you even had an honorary award from that university, because some don't even remember. They tell you, okay, what university is that? Think, oh, sir, you had an honorary. But what do I know? That's where we find ourselves in Nigeria. We see all of these things playing out. But hopefully, Jega, let's see. Let's see how people take his worth.
Jega was a vice chancellor, was a VC of a school before he became the INEC chairman. And of course, I think he's gone back to school and he's got another appointment with the federal government. Well, all of this, I think some persons are saying, let's see what will happen in 2027. I saw something in the papers this morning where SANS, PDP, have a lot of SANS, and the fight for supremacy between parties is still on the rise. And that brings us to the fact that a lot of people are already thinking about what is going to be happening in the nearest future, forgetting about now. Then, judiciary, the role of judiciary in the electoral process is what I have not really understood. I asked a person some time back, I asked a judicial officer, a legal practitioner, and he said whether you like it or not, people will be dissatisfied with so many things, especially electoral processes, and how would they seek redress is going to court. So it wasn't a bad idea when in 2023 the slogan "Go to court" came to stay, and up till now, till tomorrow, people are still going to court. But then I think before we get to look at the papers, the issue of, I know you were very angry the other time when a man came into Nigeria putting cocaine in chocolate. You're very upset with her.
I'm still upset with her.
You're still upset. Forgive her. Forgive her.
I'm trying
At
to.
least if you want to buy your chocolates
Why
now,
would she use chocolate? That's the,
No.
and 72 wraps.
nowhere to
really.
get your chocolates now. Okay, not everywhere. I trust you. You don't. It's not even your type that was paid for, because you have designated places where these people in quotes, we have the Iroko, the mahogany, timbers and calibers of people in the society. All right, who gets these things from very, very standard stores where a lot of things cannot be done. But what about people who just get from the shelf?
Exactly.
And say, or maybe they see people hawking and they say, wow, this chocolate looks good. They don't know that there is something inside.
To make them stand up.
But at the end of the day, you just get it. But I think on the whole, EFCC is doing their job, and of course,
Yes,
NAFDAC, as a matter of fact, are also doing their job in that area. And as a matter of fact, task force arrest of 500 suspects, recover 300 million illicit substances in Kano State. The issue of illicit substances. The problem is that the youth, a lot of our youths are given to these substances. They do a lot of these substances, and some of them are addicted to it.
Yes, they are.
A lot of them, if you speak with them, they will tell you they want to get out of it, but that they are addicted to it, it becomes a problem.
Yes, it does.
There was a lady, a very young lady, who injected herself, and if you see the scar, the wound, because I don't know. I look at this as something very bad in the society. And that's the reason the authorities keep fighting the use of illicit drugs and all of that. If you see her hand, the way she injects herself, you see wounds everywhere on her hand. Even where there is wound, she still use this syringe and needle, to still pierce that place to inject herself. A very young lady. When I saw that scar, back then, I became very furious, and I started supporting NDLEA and NAFDAC, people who clamp down on these people who do these illicit drugs and all of that.
And sometimes you just wonder why these young ones, the youths, indulge in such. Some will tell you they're frustrated. It's depression. That's the only way they can stay afloat. Once they've graduated from the university for almost 3 years, and they do not have a job. So in their own mind, the certain thing to do is to blank themselves out from the reality at hand that they are jobless, they are still a liability to their family members. And when they see their other colleagues who have made waves, who are doing things for themselves, they imagine themselves. So in order to blink their mind from it, they indulge. But that is not an excuse to indulge in drugs and substance abuse. There are lots of ways. And there was this program I was doing in Kaduna, talking about drugs, substance, and they were telling you places where you can go to Kaduna. You see these guys right now as we speak. They are into drugs, and they are just there. Secondary school kids that come out of school, they go there. That's the hideout, and they tell you the different techniques on how they hide these drugs and substance, even in some of these drinks that But it's just unfortunate that this is it. And that is why the government needs to do a lot when it comes to creating that awareness of drugs and substance abuse. It is a miscreant in society. When one is high, he can actually do anything. He can commit murder and see nothing wrong with it. I know a guy that came and said his friend jumped from a tall-story building and thought he was Superman and flew down, lost his legs in the process. It's so dangerous and it's so bad. And that is why someone came out and said, Juma, don't you think they should build like a sports activity center, like a lucrative center for youths, those that are done with school that can get their minds busy? Because there's a word that says, the word of God says, an idle mind. Their idol is the devil's workshop. So you see, most of these youths are idle, and some of them are brilliant. You see first class, second class, but yet there are no job opportunities. And that is why this jackpot syndrome is on the rise. I was together with Godwin Sunday, And we spoke about 50,000 nurses leaving Nigeria, despite all of these immigration policies, and they no send you any message.
No, the truth is this.
They are going there.
If you're a professional, they need you over there.
Yes, but I'm saying, but despite the fact that this, with the immigration and all of that, despite the fact that it's a process to get your paper, it's a process.
It's a very long process.
And then thinking about the bills that you pay, they don't care.
They don't see.
They are going.
As we speak, some persons have been gathering this money for the past 10 years.
I'm telling you.
Because they want to leave. That's to tell you of how much the people, Nigerians, don't have, I believe, trust in the country anymore. Everyone wants to leave. But then, I think what we need to do as a government is give more to tech. Because the only thing that can salvage the situation right now is tech.
And agriculture.
Yeah,
exactly.
We have a lot of natural resources.
We
talked
do.
about it here
We
severally.
do. We do.
You know, so it's a matter of harnessing these natural resources, put money in them, engage these youth, and don't make them vulnerable to circumstances.
Exactly.
Because peer influence, you see somebody who is very good. You know, after school frustration sets in, no
That's
job,
what I'm saying.
nothing. Then you see them, someone conscientizing them into doing what ordinarily they wouldn't want to do.
Never, because
you know,
and you know the painful part of it. Some of these youths, they have a background. They are from very good homes, but society has actually held their hands, twisted their hands for them to indulge in things that is not upright. And that's why when you see someone conscientizing them to tell them, okay, just take this drug, I'll pay for your ingest these drugs. 50 wraps and travel to the next. He's willing or she's willing to take that risk just to get out of poverty.
But, they will tell you, you need to japa, you need to leave the country.
Exactly. So this is the only way.
They inject these things into you. You swallow them, and you get to the other country. You know, they will tell you a lot of things.
What are you saying?
We're talking about trafficking the other day, and we're talking about the fact that my guest was saying, well, trafficking these little girls, they give them a whole lot of hope. Okay, I'm sending you to school. You know what it means to school abroad. You come back home, you're a superstar, you're pride of your family and all of that. And they go there, take them to places they don't even understand the language.
Exactly.
And they are the only ones that communicate with these people, the tax masters, who get hold of these girls and mess their lives and destiny up. And at the end of the day, you see them amounting to nothingness. Thank God for Air Peace right now, and some other persons who have accepted to bring these girls back home. Well, that's it. I think the authorities, Nigeria government, have a lot to do. Individuals have a lot to do. Parents have a lot to do. You don't leave your children to themselves alone. Those of you that are always saying you are out of school now, my hands are off you, you need to go get something doing. And those of you who say, well, you're of age now, you need to go get married. Pushing your children out to become nuisance to the society is not the best. We're working towards national development and societal growth here, and it's the responsibility of everyone, not just people in governance, not just the leaders alone, because all of us have a role to play to curb this very societal ills.
Yes, you've said my mind. All hands needs to be on deck when it comes to family members, individuals, parents, guardians, caregivers, caretakers. All hands should be on deck, not just leaving it for the government alone. You as an individual, you have to serve as a support system to these youths. Please do not neglect them. Do not say, oh, you let them have his or her way. No, it's not like that. Come together, because, you know, depression is real.
It's real.
We might think that is, in quotes and unquote, in the pidgin palace, it's an Oyibo man's sickness. It's not. Really, depression is really sets in, and when it sets in, if it's not well handled, it could be manhandled, which is unfortunate. But you know what? At this point, let's go in for the newspaper review, and it's Global Morning on Global Television. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. Right, you are welcome back from that very quick break, and it's Global Morning, and it is the newspaper review segment, and we'll be starting with the first paper of the day, and it's the Blueprint newspaper. And above the nameplate it says, IPI Nigeria appoint Idris Garba Shehu Egbemode, 26 others to committee. And below the nameplate of the Blueprint newspaper here, it says, lawyers back Uzodimma on Uzekwe's appointment as Imo CJ. Chinese conglomerates to invest $1 billion in Nigeria's sugar industry. And here it says 1980 AFCON winner Charles Bassey dies at 71. And you can find that read on page 32. The star story there says federal government flags off 777 billion naira Abuja Kaduna Zaria Kano Road project. That has been on for a very long time now, if you look at it. Now, on Palm Sunday, Khan condemns Plateau killings, urges justice and unity. Now, of course, the rider there below the federal government flags of 771 billion naira says North hugely benefiting from Tinubu's infrastructure revolution, Ubasani. And here it says President Kaduna governor deserves 8 years, Umahi. And here it says billboards, other campaigns should wait, Tinubu tells supporters. And still on the Blueprint newspaper, it says presidency dismisses U.S. court ruling on Tinubu's FBI DEA reports. And below all of that, it says here, NDA partners anti-corruption advocates for Nigeria happens to me project. All right, now that is all on the Blueprint newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the news making rounds. Ramsey, does anyone, which one picks your fancy?
Well, the one that picks my fancy is the fact that even the president is saying, hey, come on. It's not the right time for you to, even if you want to support me, this is not the right time to do it. And it's going to form part of our discussion, one of our discussions today, because I don't know what it is. I think some of these people are bootlicking. What they are doing right now is bootlicking psychophancy. Because, I don't know, playing the drum for someone who is saying, hey, this is not the right time to do it. We have a constitution, as a matter of fact.
Yes,
we have laws. We have ways to do these things. So why in the rush to do it? And so for Tinubu himself, the president, to come out to say, well, it's not time yet. He said, billboard, other campaigns should wait. That is Tinubu telling supporters, don't be in a rush. Wait, I know what I'm saying. This is Emiloko talking right here. So you should know that, well, he knows what he's saying.
Yes, he is.
So I don't know why the rush. Then another one again is the fact that presidency is dismissing U.S. court ruling on Tinubu's FBI and DEA report. I don't know of what importance it is right now. I mean, I even say there is nothing new to reveal. Everything that you need to say have been said. Everything that we need to hear has been heard during the election.
Exactly.
There was a lot of forth and back. There's nothing new. So why were they waiting until now before they even reveal anything? Whatever you have to reveal, you would have done that long ago. What are you revealing now? It's of no importance.
It's of no importance.
So the federal government is reacting to it, say nothing is new. What do you want to review? Whatever you want to review, go ahead and review it. Who cares? Nigeria have a president right now, and whether you like it or not, Tinubu is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And come 2027, he's still going to be in the race. So I don't know. Well, I don't know how important is that FBI and report right now.
Exactly. All right, now Ramsey, you're going to run us through the next paper.
All right. Let's quickly look at the Nation's newspaper and see what we have right there. Above the nameplate, we have this headline which says House of Reps panel for oversight in Rivers. Details of that you can find on page 6. National asset audits to unlock 65 trillion naira. And one rider to that story, it says fiscal reform steps up. Details read on page 2. A 700 megawatt boost from national grid. reconstruction of 777 billion naira Abuja Kaduna Kanu Road begins. Details you can find on page 6. Trump tariff may be a blessing. All right. Details read on page 2. A lot of people are already shouting about that. But then some persons are looking at it as a blessing. It might be a blessing. An all new revelation by FBI on Tinubu says presidency. That's the star story on the Nation's newspaper, and 2 riders to that story. The first rider says nothing to worry over U.S. court order on president. The second one says Ogale matter old settled. Well, it's a bygone now. There's nothing new there to review. If you ask me, that's what I will say. I will also concur to what he has said. And finally, from the Nation's newspaper, a Trump envoy conveys stronger U.S. interests at Paris meeting with president. Details you can find on page 43. These stories, if you look at these stories very well, you can see that a lot is being said about the FBI revelation. Now, I don't know if any of these stories you want to react to any.
Well, looking at this, I want to react to House of Rep panel for oversight in Rivers. Unfortunately, that particular incident just caught my eye, basically. So, what's the oversight all about in Rivers? So, that's the one I wanted you to look into. The panel for the oversight in Rivers. So, meaning, what's going on in Rivers? Is the panel, is there supposed to be an oversight, or we're supposed to overlook some of the issues that are ongoing in Rivers State, or what is happening there above the nameplate?
Well, the issue in Rivers State, I think the administrator already have elected or appointed administrators, because they were not elected, they were appointed. As a matter of fact, what's going on in Rivers State, I think it's time. Some persons are still saying they want to go to court for the state of emergency. But now the House of Reps panel for oversight in Rivers State, well, whatever it is they are doing right now, one thing they should consider is the situation in Rivers State. Very important. And the people in Rivers State are still waiting for the outcome of all this drama, because there should be an outcome of all this drama.
Really?
People can't keep waiting like this. All right, that's it for me. So let's look at the next paper now.
All right, the next paper is the Nigerian News, Direct. And the star story there says, why Buhari Tinubu bond remains unshaken, a nightmare for opposition. And that is from the presidency. And the writer there says relationship a foundation for future party unity progress. And you can find that read on page 4. UBA straightens agency banking with upgraded POS terminals, Money app, okay. Kaduna as new power capital inside Buhari's strategic reform to the political arena. Proposed bill to regulate bloggers affront to fundamental human rights, RAP tells National Assembly. I think that's a step in the right direction, because these bloggers, they go out of their way to cause a lot of detriment, more harm than good. We're focused on economic revitalization, national security, not 2027, and that is the presidency there. And Lagos government dislodges squatters, recovers weapons at waterfront. Wow. And then basically that is all the news on the Nigerian News Direct. And then one that caught my eye here is the proposed bill to regulate bloggers affront to fundamental human rights. You know, some of these bloggers, some of them actually, they are paid by individuals to come out and say some particular issues at hand, to just for that fame or that followers and all of that. Some just come out just for you to check out their page, and some of these informations that are given are not right, they're wrong. So I think this is a step in the right direction. There should be a regulation. There are some things that you ought to say. If it's detriment to your if it's detriment to the individual's fundamental human rights, that person should be sanctioned. It's very, very important.
Two ways to that that story. Remember, we have the Freedom of Information Bill, which has come to stay. And we should also be careful so that whatever way we would want to regulate these bloggers doesn't infringe on their own rights because of the Freedom of Information
As long as it's not
Bill.
detrimental, I feel
Yes.
they should be regulated.
Cyberbullying is not allowed.
True.
For cyberbullying, it is constitutional that it's against the law. So people who cyberbull people can actually be taken to the court of law. So if you're a blogger, you be careful what you write, what you put out there.
Very true. But I'm happy that there should be a regulation. There should be a regulation to regulate these bloggers. Is very important.
Calling them to order is very important.
It's very important. And then another one that says Lagos State dislodges squatters, recovers weapons at waterfront. So most of these individuals that these squatters, they have a lot. People want to protect themselves. You'll be shocked that a lot of people now carry arms, teach their children how to operate arms. There was this particular clip I saw on social media, secondary school girls. I don't know if you saw it. They're teaching them how to shoot the guns.
In Nigeria?
I don't know if it's in Nigeria, but couple rifles. In some states, that's where they find themselves now to protect themselves, which I'm not saying is right, though. But these squatters, this is something real. They think that maybe the government will not even check. They are in the waterfront, so nobody wants to bother. But now this is really serious. I'm happy with what the governor of Lagos State is actually doing. This is good.
Probably they want to relocate them, and that was discovered. But then I think some of them, I don't know the kind of weapons that was found there, but staying very close to the water, there are some weapons you really need because you don't know the kind of animals in that water, whether wild animals or something. And some miscreants can always come to terrorize areas like that.
Very true.
But whatever it is, we should also remember that some weapons are not legalized in Nigeria yet. So the authorities will always go after people who use that. But then one amazing thing is the fact that you see some persons, there is this set of people in Nigeria who move about with den guns, move about with cutlasses, and no one asks them. And if they see an ordinary person, moving around with things like that, they get to do a stop and search, and everything that already happened. So it should be for everyone. If this search is necessary, then it should be for everyone. All right, let's look at the Punch newspaper now. On the Punch newspaper, I have the big story here, which says battle for Rivers. AGF moves to defend Tinubu as PDP governors mobilize 11 sons. What's happening here? The writer to that story says, Fagbemi draft Supreme Court response. PDP berates presidents. Ibas and Tompolo hint at Fubara's return. That's still in Rivers State. In fact, there are some things. A lot of people are saying so many things. Some persons are saying it's constitutional. Some persons said it's unconstitutional. Some persons are okay with it. Some persons are not okay with it.
Very
Individuals
true.
are even going to court. This is to tell you of how serious this situation is when someone is duly elected, a democratically elected governor is being suspended for 6 months, and an administrator, a former military officer, comes to office, unseat every other person that is in that cabinet and bringing in his own fresh people, and a lot of things happening. But then what do we know? Maybe the Constitution and of course the law, the rule of law, will have to take its course in this whole situation.
There was something I saw. People that were busy partying in the nightclub, and they wrote, "Wike forgive Fubara."
Okay, the nightclub.
Yes,
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Wike forgive Fubara.
No, that's true. Forgiveness. I think it's high time we begin to think of forgiveness.
But Fubara says he has done nothing wrong. But this is what...
The same Fubara that sued for peace, that was going to the State Assembly and he was locked out.
Exactly.
You know, so there are so many things happening. You know, I think the
I
two
think
sides
he's
need
tired
to
now.
agree. Apart from the fact that he's tired,
He's
he said
tired.
something that the people needs to be governed. The people need to enjoy the dividends of democracy. You know what it means for a total stranger to come and be the one in charge of a state.
Exactly.
You know, the people are not feeling so good about it,
No,
but
they're
at this
not.
point, for the peace of the country and the peace of River State, that had to be done
Yes,
by the president.
really.
All right, more still coming from the Punch newspaper this morning. Autonomy, I beg your pardon, is the kicker right here. 774 local governments challenge federal government, states in courts Tuesday. I don't know when this local government autonomy will be over. I don't know. The same federal government that took governors to court because of this same issue, the same people that are being taken to court right now. Well, let's see how that is going to end. We don't have much on the Punch newspaper this morning. On page 8, we have the story which says, Presidency dismisses U.S. court order on Tinubu Atiku defense.
There's nothing new.
Then page 7 says federal government rolls out flood preparedness campaign in 30 high-risk states. This is, for me, this is good because we can't be waiting all the time, you know, for damage control. We need to do the needful before anything can be done. Then finally, from the Punch newspaper, Abdul Karim's anti-Tinubu song gains streams as Soyinka slams NBC for banning that. I don't know, a lot of people, a lot of activists are saying, why ban the song? Why ban that song? But then, as the song, I've not really listened to the song.
I've not either, but I've heard some
to the
part.
song. But then I think this is a situation with Idris Abdul Karim.
Of course,
remember Nigeria, Jaga.
Of course, when
Olusegun Obasanjo also banned the song, and now this is a protest song being banned again. I don't know. I think his career is shaky. And, you know, someone was telling me, he said, that young man is even in the north. That's where he's staying. And whatever he wants to do, he's doing it. But then, this song is gaining more popularity.
More and more.
You know, banning by NBC means it won't be played on television and radio.
Of course.
What about the internet?
Exactly.
What about the streaming platforms?
Exactly.
What about the bloggers blogging this song? You know, it's getting a lot of stream because people are curious. What's this song all about? What's this song?
And it's making a lot of money.
It's making a lot of money.
A lot.
So that's what it means. So maybe, I don't know. But then I think NBC should still look into it. But then if NBC is banning any song, then know that that song has some words that are not too good for the society. Probably.
Yes, I just feel that the reason why NBC, but I'm not a spokesperson for NBC. I do not work with NBC, of course. I work with Global Television. My boss is Dr. Ibrahim Biu. That's my boss. Now, but the truth is, I think NBC, the reason for the ban is because it's adding more salt to injury. They know, of course they understand that Nigerians are going through a lot. So it's like a reminder that, see, they feel, some people feel that this administration is nothing to write home about. They are not feeling the impact. Despite when we see numbers that this is happening, they're doing this. But that impact, when I go to the next door neighbor and I want to buy something, that's the impact most Nigerians want to feel. So I think it's adding more salt to injury, reminding them, depressing them the more. So that's what they do not want. They feel, as an artist, as a musician, you should say songs that will lighten the mood. I know you have to sing songs according to your mood, whether happy, sad, whatever. But this time that Nigerians are going through a lot, I think that's why they feel the song is not needed. At least there's something to build your hope and give you that positive vibe that everything is going to be fine. Not something like this that will still douse your emotion. Some people cannot, like Ramsey, I say it every time, people cannot afford 2 square meals.
You're talking about 2 square meals?
Okay, 1.
People are begging to get one.
Exactly.
People
and there's
are begging.
People have sold all they have and carried their families under the bridge to live because they cannot afford the house rent.
Go to the road and see how many people are using their cars for town service now. Jeeps. See, now this thing is affecting everyone because, okay, these so-called big men in quotes, the rich, they need these average Nigerians to even survive because most of the job is being done by these people. But how much will you be able to pay these people to make them work for you comfortably? Some persons are working today because they just need to feed their family.
Yes,
not because of passion anymore.
No, not because of passion. Nobody's talking about passion anymore with the current
situation.
So it's a lot to take in.
It's real. It's real.
It's real.
The situation is real.
And it's really a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So let's just go into the next paper, which is the Daily Trust.
I think that's going to be the last.
Okay, and of course, we have below the nameplate of the Daily Trust, it says, why politicians are scrambling for Buhari's nod ahead 2027. Bandits raise mosques, health centers, 10 houses in Zamfara. Victoria's 1980 AFCON squad, Chuku Basi, 7 others gone, 13 remaining. Why U.S. courts ordered release of Tinubu's probe report, and then of course the two writers says nothing new to be released. Presidency, we've seen it all, we've heard it all. I don't understand. What's your problem? And here it says ruling amendable to appeal and lawyers. And then below all of that, the foot of the Daily Trust, it says our food worse than dogs. Inmate sat there. They are starving to death. Federal government panel is aggravation. NCOS. It's exaggeration, NCOS says that. And then the story that caught my eye here is 2 stories. Why politicians are scrambling for Buhari's nod ahead of 2027. They want to hear him say, okay, this is the candidate I want, or he's still in support of Buhari, who knows. And then bandits raise mosques, health center, 10 houses in Zamfara. It's just unfortunate that these terrorists will go at all lengths to do whatever havoc they want to cause. It's just, for goodness sake, a religious place, you're going to set it on fire. It's just unfortunate there. That's why Nigerians have to come together. We are all in this together. There's no northerner, southerner, Muslim, Christian. We're all together. We're all one. We all have to come together. That is the most important thing for us to move forward. We're all one. God sees us as one. So there's no demarcation or whatever. Imagine these individuals raising the mosques. That's our brothers, our Muslim faithfuls now. That's their praying place. And this will happen. Now, it's not something that someone should be joyful or happy about.
There is something about these bandits. Before now, some persons who said bandits are people of the other religion.
Exactly. It's not true.
You can see the destruction. See, the truth is this, if not until these people are known, their sponsors have been arrested, they will keep causing disaster. I was thinking the other day, I was speaking with someone and I was saying, how long is it going to take Nigeria to repair what these bandits, these terrorists have destroyed so far in this country?
This is so wrong.
This is a country struggling to even meet up with a lot of things. Then destruction of social amenities going on, health centers, mosques, really. This is where people pray to God. And it is the prayers that is even sustaining this country.
That is
I will stand tall anywhere to say it.
10 houses.
The prayers of Muslim faithfuls and Christians is what is sustaining this country.
I'm telling you,
yeah, and you go destroy a praying place. These people don't have the fear of Allah at all, which is not the best.
Which is not the best, really.
I think if you know something, say something. If you know a bandit around you, speak to the authorities.
Grab him quickly.
Because one day it might be your turn. Because if they get on you, they may not spare you. So the earlier you speak out,
the better.
The better. So the sponsors and the bandits themselves.
Yes, and then of course, 10 houses in Zamfara. You know what the cost of cement is right now, the cost of blocks, so it's just unfortunate. And then just quickly before we wrap it up on the Daily Trust, our food worse than dogs, inmates. And so it's just an exaggeration. Well, the truth, don't say because they are inmates they should die, please. They are paying, they are serving their sentence. But at the same time, I think it should be looked into, please. You shouldn't feed them. It's not fair, really. They are paying their sentence. It's not easy to be away from loved ones and friends. And at the same time, causing havoc and all of that in society, I think is a rethink. for you to be better, so you won't be in that situation. Well, at this point, this is all we can take on the newspaper review segment, and it's still a global morning. And keep it locked, right, Ramsey?
Yeah.
Up next is the AM News. Do not go anywhere. Global Morning will definitely continue. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
dispersing upkeep of 20,000 naira.
Know that you cannot talk about a healthy nation if you don't have means to produce your own in addition to importing.
The CG is the principal actor of this because it's within her jurisdiction. Minister is a supervisor.
We must run in accordance with the Constitution of Can, where you have just a single time.
The human factor, you have the infrastructural factor, then you have the mechanical factors.
The Senate, with all due respect, they were so hasty in passing that judgment.
The statement I'm about to make is we're not even aware.
That is the future.
You have to be aware before you can begin to be prepared.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world. To News AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and sometimes 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. A United States District Court in Colombia has ordered the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Enforcement Administration to release records relating to the criminal investigation of President Bola Tinubu over alleged drug trafficking. Judge Barrel Howell, in a ruling dated April 8, which can be found on the court's website, directed both agencies to search for and process non-exempt records tied to the Freedom of Information Act, that is FOIA request, filed by American researcher Aaron Crispin. Crispin, founder of legal transparency platform PlainSight, had submitted 12 FOIA requests between 2022 and 2023, seeking information on a Chicago drug ring that operated in the early 1990s. President Bola Tinubu has directed the National Open University of Nigeria now to shift towards becoming a fully online institution, leveraging its existing expertise in open and distance learning. Tinubu, who is in the visitor to the university, stated this in Abuja at the 14th convocation of the institution. This is even as he mandated the institution to maximize its delivery system by fully embracing technology, taking its online capability to the next level. A Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, to immediately withdraw the representative and the respective bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023, which seeks to regulate the activities of bloggers operating within the territorial boundaries of Nigeria. SERAP urged Akpabio and Abbas to ensure that an amendment to the Nigerian Data Protection Act promotes and protects the rights of bloggers and other journalists and does not undermine the fundamental human rights of Nigerians. SERAP also urged Akpabio and Abbas to end the imposition of unnecessary restriction on the rights of Nigerians online and internet-based content. The National Association of Nigerian Students has slammed the National Assembly over a proposed bill to make voting mandatory and jail Nigerians who fail to vote. NANS, in a statement by its National Vice President, Intercampus and Gender Affairs, Akimboduse Felicia in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, described the bill as not only ridiculous but laughable, urging the National Assembly to ditch the ludicrous idea or face the wrath of the Nigerian students. The NAS had proposed a new bill titled "A Bill for an Act to Amend the Electoral Act 2022 to make it mandatory for all Nigerians of majority age to vote in all national and state elections and for related matters." If passed, the bill would make voting mandatory for all eligible Nigerians, making a significant shift in Nigeria's electoral landscape. A former member of the House of Representatives and 2023 governorship aspirant, Dr. Farah Dagogo, has taken legal action against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, and the sole administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Abbas, retired, over the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. The Federal High Court, sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has fixed May 12, 2025 for substantive hearing of the case, which challenges the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. In suit presided over by Justice Adamu Turaki Mohammed, Dagogo is seeking judicial intervention on what he claims are unconstitutional actions relating to the declaration of emergency rule in the state and imposition of an unelected administrator. Governors elected under the People's Democratic Party are to take position on the National Secretary and the National Executive Committee of the party as they meet in Ibadan, Oyo State. The governors will discuss matters relating to the Rivers State emergency rule and address key issues impacting both the country and the party. The governors are meeting 3 weeks after the Supreme Court returned Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the National Secretary of the party against their favored Sunday Ude Okoye. The World Health Organization says Nigeria has allocated an additional $200 million to health in its 2025 budget to avert the health impact that the sudden and unplanned cuts are having. The Director General of WHO, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, disclosed this in a speech on the organization's website. In January, Trump's administration issued an executive order halting foreign aid for 90 days and later issued a waiver for life-saving medicines and medical services, offering a reprieve for a worldwide HIV treatment program. The Arua Forum for Peaceful Coexistence has passed a vote of confidence on the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The national president of the body, Baturi Haruna, and the Federal Capital Territory coordinator of the group, Mark Okpanachi Oga, while briefing journalists in Abuja, says the decision to pass a vote of confidence on Ganduje followed a careful and objective assessment of his leadership style since his assumption of office in August 2023. The group also said under Ganduje's direction, the APC had recovered major electoral victories in 4 out of 5 off-cycle governorship election in Kogi, Imo, Edo, and Ondo State. A bomb blast suspected to have been planted by Boko Haram militants has claimed 8 lives and injured 21 others along the Maiduguri-Damboa Highway. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum disclosed this after visiting the injured victims at a specialist hospital in Maiduguri. During his hospital visit, Governor Zulum expressed condolences to the families of the deceased and condemned the attack, noting it's regrettable that such incidents are happening at this time. The Lagos Free Trade Zone LFTZ command of the Nigerian Customs Service reported a sharp rise in revenue generation while appealing for urgent infrastructural development during an oversight visit by the House of Representative Committee on Customs and Excise. The Lagos NCFFTZ spotlight its remarkable revenue performance and operational strides since its inception in February 2022. Controller Olarewaju A. Olumo, in a welcome address to the delegation led by Committee Chairman Honorable Leke Abidiji, disclosed that the command has grown from a revenue of 25 billion naira in 2022 to 358 billion naira in 2024. He also noted that the command had already recorded 113 billion naira in the first quarter of 2025. The Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to intensify efforts to save indigenous businesses and industrial sector from total collapse. The ESIMA President Chief Odega Jenwo made the call at the CBN Special Day at the ongoing 36th Enugu International Trade Fair. According to him, we are not unmindful of the various interventions of the CBN to support and encourage the growth of business in various sectors of the economy. 3 major aviation unions have issued a stern warning to the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, threatening to resume a previous suspended strike over the agency's alleged failure to keep to their bargaining agreement signed earlier this year. In a later joint sign by the National Union of Air Transport Employees, the Association of Nigeria Aviation Professionals, and the Amalgamated Union of Public Corporations, Civil Service Technical and Recreational Service Employees, the union expressed deep disappointment in NIMET's management, accusing it of breaching the terms of an agreement reached on January 28, 2025. At the heart of the union's grievance is what they describe as the management's failure to fulfill its commitments to negotiate and implement an allowance before the end of February 2025. The United Nations Assistant Secretary General Ahmad Aziakowa has commended Nigeria's government and the National Assembly for voting 200,000 $200 million for healthcare in Nigeria. The commendation followed the withdrawal of funding assistance by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Speaking at a meeting in Lagos with a delegation of the House of Representatives led by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Ekeze-Kalu Ezekonwa, who is also the African Regional Director for the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, said Nigeria's action sets a precedent on the continent. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has released the result of the 2025 mock Unified Tertiary Matriculation exams conducted on Thursday, April 10. JAMB disclosed this in a statement by its spokesperson, Fabian Benjamin. According to the board, the mock UTME is optional and aimed to test its yearly innovation while also giving candidates an opportunity to experience the computer-based test environment ahead of the main examination. You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, federal government forms panel to assess economic impact of U.S. tariff. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Welcome back. Now, from the world of business, the Nigerian Gas Association, NGA, has stated that Nigeria's gas-led energy transition strategy is gaining significant global traction, as evidenced by over $5 billion in new investment record in the sector as of 2024. This was disclosed by the Nigerian's president of NGA, Akachukwu Nwekedi, during a press conference in Lagos, ahead of the 29th World Gas Conference, WGC 2025, scheduled to take place from May 19 to May 23rd in Beijing, China. According to Nwekedi, the recent wave of investment cut across critical areas of the gas value chain, including infrastructure development, floating liquefied natural gas LNG facilities, gas processing plants, and domestic utilization projects. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says its economic reforms and efforts to boost investors' confidence are beginning to yield positive results after recording $6.83 billion balance of payment surplus in 2024. This marks a sharp turnaround from deficit of $3.34 billion and $3.32 billion in 2023 and 2022, respectively. CBN's acting director of corporate communications, Hakamo Sidi Ali, disclosed this during the 26th Enugu International Trade Fair, organized by the Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, that is ESIMA. The federal government, through the Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, has bound the operations of digital asset exchanges on online foreign exchange trading platforms without formal registration with the regulatory authority, SEC. SEC, in a statement signed by its head of media, Ife Ebele, and made available to newsmen, SEC said the newly elected Investments and Security Act, ISA 2025, made it illegal to operate digital asset exchange or online foreign exchange trading platforms without formal registration with the Security and Exchange Commission's, SEC. signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ISA 2025 significantly strengthened the regulatory framework governing Nigeria's capital market, with a particular focus on digital finance. And now from the foreign scene, Israeli bomb render Al-Ali Arab Hospital in Gaza City out of service as child patient dies in cold after evacuation. The attack comes after the Israeli military issued new displacement order for residents of the central Nurant refugee camp, as well as southern Khan units. A Hamas delegation is in Cairo for truce talk hosted by Egyptian mediators. Still on the foreign scene, the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria has released new requirements for visa interviews starting from April 22, 2025. In a statement, the embassy said all visa applicants in Abuja and Lagos must bring a DS-160 visa application form with a confirmation and barcode number stating with AA and followed by 0020 that matches the one used to mark the appointment online. The embassy stated that all applicants must make their appointment in the location which they selected when filling out the DS-160 and matching barcode numbers. If the confirmation barcode numbers on applicant's DS-160 form does not match the one used to book his appointment, this applicant will not be allowed to enter the consular section or allow for visa interview. Russian strike on Sunni have killed more than 30 people, including 2 children. Ukraine State Emergency Service says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accuses Putin of ignoring the U.S. ceasefire proposal, and U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine Kate Kellogg says today's strike crosses any lines of decency. And now from the world of sport, Victor Osimhen has declared that Galatasaray will always remain in his heart as the Nigerian prepares to depart the Turkish club at the end of the 2024-25 season, following his loan spell from Napoli. The prolific forward, who recently scored his 17th goal of 2025 to move joint third with Barcelona's Robert Lewandowski and Sporting's Victor Gyökeres among Europe's top marksmen this calendar year. Atlanta head on to third place in Serie A after beating high-flying Bologna 2-0 to recharge their bid for Champions League football next season. Gianpiero Gasperini's side are 4 points above Bologna, who are fifth, thanks to a third-minute tap in from Matteo Retegui and Mario Paslic's first leg goal since November, not long afterwards. Retegui's early strike was his 26th of the season in all competition for Atlanta, and the Italy forward also set up Paslic to guide home a delicate volley with his brilliant cross in the 21st minute. Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana has been left out of the squad for Premier League match against Newcastle United following a difficult week, with Atley Badmi set to make his Premier League debut. According to reports by football transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, Onana was informed of the decision by manager Ruben Amorim after United's UEFA Europa League fixture against Olympiacos Lyon. The manager advised the Cameroonian goalkeeper to take a brief break from football to mentally recharge. As Global TV AM News come to an end, we would like to inform you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channel 276. And you can also follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thank you for watching.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
dispersing upkeep of 20,000 naira.
Know that you cannot talk about a healthy nation if you don't have means to produce your own in addition to importing.
The CG is the principal actor of this because it's within her jurisdiction. Minister is a supervisor.
We must run in accordance with the constitution of CAN, where you have just a single time.
The human factor, you have the infrastructural factor, then you have the mechanical factors.
The Senate, with all due respect, they were so hasty in passing that judgment.
The statement I'm about to make is we're not even aware.
That is the future.
You have to be aware before you can begin to be prepared.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews, latest news with experts on key global issues,
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
You're welcome back to the Global Morning, and of course it is Global Television. Welcome back from the AM News at 8 o'clock. Now is for us to get into the first conversation today. The polity is getting hotter, probably because of 2027. The coalitions are doing everything. Just this morning, I was seeing something online by Boala where he was saying Ndume may be joining the Atiku and Obi coalition. But then, a lot going on the ground. Some persons are saying this coalition may not hold enough water to give the People's Democratic Party, the SDP, then the PDP. How formidable are they to give APC a run for their money? To be forming basis of our discussion today, I will be looking at coalition. Atiku and others visit the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the person of Muhammadu Buhari. What do you think may have informed that visit? I have an elder statesman joining me on the conversation this morning, Dr. Bartholomew Agbochenu. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, again, we want to talk politics. We want to talk. We won't get tired of talking about these incidences because day by day things keeps unfolding. Now, Atiku and others have paid visits to the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. For a very long time, Muhammadu Buhari have been very quiet after he left office as the president. Maybe he wanted to take a chill pill and relax a little bit, but now, owing to the fact that 2027 is drawing closer, people are beginning to politic in different ways, and he was being visited. Do you see any undertone to visit, or it's normal? People just went to visit their former president. Remember, these are the people forming coalition.
Well, anybody that is into politics, politics is a game of activities. You always look forward to seeing what you can be doing part-time so that people see you to be working. So that people see you to be working. All of us, we know the person of former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. He is not an orator. He is not the talking type. He doesn't take a drive into talking people into activities. Why he had the edge in the quest into the federal office was because people moved to bring him to the scene. Even if it were led for him to give a drive, I don't know how he would have done it. All of us will know that former President Muhammadu Buhari is not the talking type. But when you find yourself in the coarse environment, you always want to get something doing by all means so that people will know that you are doing something as a politician. You know, the opposition, you know, they are disenfranchised, kind of, and they would like people to see them as doing some certain things so that they will not be seen to have been packed in a cooler. Muhammadu Buhari has his own decision to make, and people in his web equally, individually have their own decisions to make. Going to meet Muhammadu Buhari may not open the floodgate for people to begin to leave APC heading for PDP or SDP. So to say, yes, I mean what I am saying. So the visit may not be the nodal line that may cause a floodgate to be open for people to begin to cross carpet from APC to PDP. Muhammadu Buhari can make up his own mind to remain in APC and can make up his mind to cross carpet from APC to whatever party. So also every other politician has his or her own decision to make. And so the movement to go and visit Muhammadu Buhari, if you leave it to me, I will now say is an activity in an action to keep them defined as having to be doing some certain things so that people see them to be working.
But then, you said the former president is not the talking type. But looking at his influence, do you see him being able to make any difference in 2027? Does he have what it takes? Because one of the, you've defined him to an extent. You say, number one, he's not a talking type. Then secondly, he also have his own decision to make, whether or not to leave the People's Democratic Party. APC, I mean, All Progressive Congress, the All Progressive Congress Party. Now, don't you think he can still remain in APC as a former APC president and still make things happen? Remember, APC is parties coming together, his own party and other parties came together to form APC. Do you see him having any influence as far as 2027 is concerned?
I don't see him having any influence because Nigeria is in dynamism. If you take a clear study of what is happening in Nigeria, Nigeria is in dynamism. So many political analysts have come forward to chip in their position on the matter, saying that former President Muhammadu Buhari may not unilaterally make up his mind to jet out of APC, considering the gains he had gotten from APC. APC giving him tickets for 2 terms. You know, it may not be easy for him to jet out of APC no matter what use he may feel obtainable in APC for now. Yes, I may seem to agree with such political analysis, but what I stand and I make bold to say is that he cannot make decision for every other person, most especially as people have eyes to see. People who see APC as not performing. Former President Muhammadu Buhari may not be able to coerce them into taking decisions that are against their own will. So, looking at 2027 in view, the highest I feel former President Muhammadu Buhari can do is to take care of himself, is to operate within the territory of his own vein. But as for others, it depends on the perception they hold towards the government. If others see the government as not performing, there's little or nothing that former President Muhammadu Buhari can do to influence their decision.
All right, we're looking at the visit by some persons. All right, now let's look at this very critically now. Labour Party, remember the people forming this coalition is Atiku from PDP, and now PDP is divided into 2. If this coalition is going to happen right now, it means a faction of PDP will be joining the coalition, then the other faction. What do you think will happen? And don't you think they will fight, all right, the other party that will want to be part of the coalition? Remember, we have the Atiku party, then we'll have the G5 governors, which is being led by the FCT minister. Is it going to be really smooth for this coalition? Because instead of only APC now fighting this coalition, they are going to have other internal members also fighting this coalition. What do you think about this coalition on the whole?
Before the coalition succeeds, there is one stringent issue that needs to be nipped in the bud. Without which, all they will be doing will be a mere jamboree. Before the coalition can succeed, they should have a single aim. They should have a single objective. What is that objective? Is to edge Tinubu out of government. Let everybody drop their personal interests. If all the people, they drop their personal interests and they say, okay, our common enemy is Tinubu, then they will have their way. This is not the first time that coalition is happening and succeeding. It was coalition that brought Muhammadu Buhari to Aso Rock in 2015. So if it succeeded then, why can't it now? Before it succeeded for Buhari, PDP was very strong. To the extent that PDP was panting her chest that they were going to be in government for 60 years. As a journalist, I think you could remember. They were panting.
I remember it's the same thing that's happening now, because APC is even saying this coalition is not strong. In fact, vote of confidence was even passed on Ganduje, you know, and because of the off-cycle election that was conducted that they won. And even APC right now, they're also beating their chest to say, well, this coalition is nothing.
So what actually I am saying is, APC is saying that the coalition is nothing. They should be able to see something. They should be able to see something that was not existent during their own time when they took over government. PDP was stronger than they are today. But because they had a unitary focus, let's edge Goodluck Jonathan out of government. It doesn't matter the person that is coming. It doesn't matter the person that is coming. So they came together, they formed a coalition, and they were able to succeed. If success was achieved then, why can't it? Why can't it now? APC has not wielded strength as PDP wielded in 2015. The only thing that will fight against them, the only thing that will debar them of having what they're looking for is if they have divided interests. If they have divided interests. Like you are saying that in PDP, they are divided. If the division continues, then the coalition is going to fail. If the division continues. Like, if what I'm seeing is the right thing, it appears as if APC are trying to use Wike to puncture PDP, to weaken PDP. And if I am right, and I'm guessing well, the way you are seeing is still the same way I am seeing. What is that way of sight? That Wike is bodily in PDP, but is spiritually in APC. And that is why he's doing everything to make sure he brings PDP down. How do you interpret him revoking the license for the PDP headquarters that is in central area here, under the guise that they had not paid their rent for 20 years? A structure national headquarters for PDP that the belt, this Nikon Plaza here, adjacent to it, opposite Sterling Bank, almost opposite Sterling Bank, about an 11-story building that PDP has erected. Wike has revoked it. And Wike is in PDP.
But is it right? Is it right for the People's Democratic Party to not have paid for it for 20 years?
Listen to me. Listen to where I'm going. Listen to me very well. You see, what is that money that Wike cannot pay? If Wike's spirit is in PDP, what is that money? Even if they had paid that money, you know, there is dynamism in government. Wike could still look for one thing or the other to bring against that structure. Since his spirit is not there. Since his spirit is not there. So, they're trying to use Wike to weaken PDP. If they succeed, then the coalition may not succeed. But if those that are in PDP, those that are in Labour Party, those that are in SDP, they now say, no, let's bury all our hatchets. Let's bury all our differences. And let us have a common focus. What is that focus? Edge Tinubu out of government, 2027. Undermining whatever fundamental and basic differences that may tear them apart. That is when they are going to succeed. In Rivers, last year, when there was a local government election, Wike was in control of PDP, and the whole of Rivers was PDP. And Wike and Fubara were not in good terms. And Wike now said that tickets should not be given to those loyal to Fubara. Do you know Fubara? What Fubara did? Fubara told them to decamp to other parties, get the ticket, because Fubara had the people. And these people that are loyal to Fubara, they had the people. They decamped and they went and they won. The same thing can still happen this time around. Wike is in charge of PDP. The National Working Committee of PDP, they are for Wike. But the governors are against Wike. And the governors are the ones that have the people. The governors are the ones that have the people. The governors to the local government chairman, they are the ones that have the people. They cannot come together and say, okay, let the structure be for Wike, but we have the people. Let us all come together and form a coalition. If they have a defined focus, the coalition will happen. There's nothing that they can do to stop the coalition from happening. But if Atiku becomes selfish, or Obi becomes selfish, Kwankwaso becomes selfish, El-Rufai, name them. If they become selfish, if they have a person and they have personal drives individually to advance, that is what will go against their mission. If not, if they don't have personal drives, what Ganduje is saying is just saying that there's no how he can stop them. If he's saying coalition cannot work, it will not stop them. Like, if I may bring you on board, Ramsey, the coalition the way they have started, if they continue, it's going to be very, very hard.
But the problem now,
for the ruling party.
Doctor, the problem now is the fact that we're still having the recycling. These are the same people in PDP, these are the same people in APC coming together. These are people who are leaving other parties because they are not satisfied, because probably they didn't get some positions in those parties. These are people that Nigerians have known in the past. These are people that some persons can point to and say one or two things that may not be pleasant to the ears, as the case may be, depending on individual perspective. Now, what do you think? Because it is not even all about the people. Remember what happened to the Labour Party. The Labour Party had massive followership because of an individual, and that is Peter Obi. We're talking about this coalition now. What about the internal crisis? Don't you think this internal crisis needs to be settled before this coalition is formed? Talk about Labour Party, for instance. Labour Party have 2 or 3 factions as we speak. Talk about the People's Democratic Party. They have their own faction too. SDP, where El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, actually defected to. In his own state, Kaduna State, SDP have said in one of the papers that they don't even know him, that he is not their member. Looking at all of these controversies, don't you think they need to settle their internal crisis, the intra-party crisis first, before they even talk about coming together?
Yes. Before I move into the intra-party crisis that bedevil the various parties involved, let me try to put you right concerning the point that you raised at the first instance. When I'm saying that all these people that are trying to coalesce are people that have been recycling right around and round in the political system. Ramsey, there's no how you can stop that. There's no how you can stop that. You know, the highest echelon of people, the oligarchs, you know, the aristocrats, the bourgeois, they are always there. A motor parked out cannot go there to say anything. Nobody listens to him. A classroom teacher will not go there to say anything. Nobody listens to him. Except the one that God says, this is what I want to do. They are still the same people recycling among themselves. If it must not be any one of them, then what you expect should be a revolution. It is when a revolution takes place, then you look for people that will come over to the seat of the government to make things happen. If not, if a revolution does not happen and God does not intervene among the oligarchs that I can see for now, among those that are in the highest echelon of political jingles, we will still be getting the same kind of people. We will still be getting the same kind of people. We are still at their mercies, except if God, for once, decides to listen to the prayer of the poor, the prayer of the less privileged, the prayer of people who are always looking forward unto God for livelihood. God can descend and make things happen. If not, it is still the same kind of people that you are looking for. Can you predict Atiku? Can you even predict Obi? We are still looking at Obi from a far distance. Or is it El-Rufai? you can predict, or Kwankwaso, or whoever. I, for one, I cannot predict anybody. I cannot predict them. So, getting the right people, fixing the right peg in the right hole. As for now, I don't know what happens. But what we are just discussing is people forming a coalition to topple the government. How possible is it? How impossible is it? So these are the ones we are talking about, and the answer is just simple. It is possible now. It is possible if they have a common goal. If they present a common interest. If they decide to drop their personal drives. I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be this, I want to be that. If you don't drop that, if Atiku is hell-bent on becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they may hit a rock. Or if someone else is hell-bent on becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the person may hit a rock. But if they now say, okay, it doesn't matter who becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what we are all out to, because Tinubu is bringing in anti-people policy. His policies are anti-people. We want to jet him out. If that becomes the sole goal, it will happen.
But then, looking at the three of them now, the three you just mentioned, Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso, El-Rufai, four of them that you just mentioned now, these are people that have already tested the water. All of them, you see, contesting. Like you made mention, among the four of them, if there is a coalition, who do you think is the best to be fronted?
I don't know.
The ticket?
I don't know.
I'm putting you on the hot seat, doctor.
I don't know. I don't know. Many often times...
You already say you can't predict them.
Yes.
Anyway.
Many often times the norm, you don't know the savor of a meal until you taste it. And there is a common adage that goes, you say, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts what? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You may not know how someone may be able to behave until you let him have. You know, Tinubu, the way he was behaving when he was the governor of Lagos State is quite different from the way he's behaving now. When he was the governor of Lagos State, yeah, he had some restrictions. He had some restrictions. There were some things that he could not do. But right now, there's nothing that he cannot do. There's nothing that he cannot do. He makes up his mind to do a thing, and he pronounces it, if you like, go and die. Like the issue of the fuel hike. He did not consult anybody before he brought the fuel hike. And although people were shouting, he did not mind. He went ahead. He went ahead. I don't know what Obi can do outrightly now until he gets there. You know, the savor of a meal is in the tasting. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. There are some people, even in the church, you may see a worker, elevate him to become a pastor. He may begin to behave abnormally. Is it not the worker that we promoted to become a pastor? How come he is behaving in this manner? So, you know, leaders are made by God. And people, leaders that are people-centric, they are made by God. Even myself, I don't know myself until I see myself behaving. until I see myself acting. I don't know myself until I see myself acting. So I don't know any other person until I see that person acting. I define a person by his actions. By his action, not by his physical appearance, or not by what he says. So that is how it is. And the best bet could even be that among all of them, they will decide and say, okay, all of us that are here, nobody, we are not going to present anybody. Let's look for a neutral person to present. You know, that will show more of their neutrality and their patriotism. So that is how it is. So as for the people that are bigwigs, that are frontliners in this coalition process, I cannot say for sure that when this person comes, he may be the deliverer for Nigeria.
But you know, you said something while you were speaking. You said for the FCT minister, he's in PDP, but is it physically in PDP?
He is physically in PDP, but he is spiritually in APC.
And you said something like he's the one causing problem in PDP in favor of APC. Was that what you said?
That was what I said.
So why do you say that? What makes you say
can't
that?
Can't you see? Don't you have eyes? Don't you have ears? Don't you know what he is causing in Rivers? And I have mentioned some things. I say he has revoked the license for the PDP structure that is in Abuja. Now, let's take a look at this. If you're a principal of a school and you are driving students home for not paying school fees, can you drive your son? If your son does not pay school fees, can you drive your son?
You should drive your son if you want to. If you really want the school to grow, you should drive your son.
You should.
That is the proper thing.
That is the proper thing.
Yeah.
That is the proper thing.
Yes.
But proper things don't happen in Nigeria. Proper things don't happen in Nigeria. If you are in charge of admission to NDA in Nigeria, it's very, very difficult for your son to be in position to be there.
But doctor,
and you say he is not qualified.
I beg to differ that better no proper thing happens in Nigeria. Is it at all with everyone or with some persons? Because if you say proper things don't happen in Nigeria, that is holistic and is generic. Don't you think it's just some persons? Because I beg to differ. I've done proper things in Nigeria before.
It is not possible for everybody in Nigeria to be a bad person.
Okay.
And it is not possible for everybody in Nigeria to be a good person. But I make bold to tell you that majority of Nigerians are bad.
People in governance or everywhere?
People in governance and everywhere. People in governance and everywhere. And you know, I don't know, because of my orientation as a mathematician, we approximate when about 98% of the people are bad and 2 people are good. You are free to say nobody is good in Nigeria.
Approximately.
Approximately. If you say nobody is good in Nigeria, you are permitted to say that. So saying that
everybody is not a mathematician, so you might just be misquoted. Like I am begging to differ now.
Yes, everybody is not a mathematician. So you can listen to a mathematician and learn. You can listen to a mathematician and learn. You know, it is written, the Bible that I preach, it is written, none is righteous. No. Not one. The Bible puts it that nobody is righteous. No, not one. But the same Bible spoke about somebody that was righteous. The same Bible, it spoke about somebody that was righteous. Who was that person? Job. When God questioned Job, where are you coming from and where are you going? He said, I'm from moving to and fro on the surface of the earth.
So let's come back to the discussion now. Let's come back from the Bible now and talk about the issue of Wike's. I don't know. I don't want to use the word hanky-panky because already you've said he is not in PDP and he's not in APC. But now, as it is right now, are you being tempted to say some of the crisis going on in these parties is being instigated by some persons in APC, like some persons are alleging?
Why not? Why
You're so confident about that?
Nobody should tell you that before you know.
How
Nobody, please, let me be very, very blunt. Let me be very, very blunt. Our president is our president doing the right thing. He's our president doing the right thing without being told. Don't you know that he could be complicit with what is happening in Rivers? Wike is his appointee. And he knows that what is happening in Rivers is being orchestrated by Wike. What prevents him from giving a phone call? My son, please pipe down. That will settle the whole thing. That will settle the whole thing. Tinubu is aware of the rift in Rivers. Tinubu is aware of the squabbles between Wike and Fubara. What prevents Tinubu from calling Wike? No, please, keep that.
But he has made efforts.
Which effort?
I think there was a meeting they held.
Ogami, forget about that. Which effort? Forget about that. They may hold the meetings physically and spiritually. There could be another tool. There could be another tool. Tinubu is the one fueling the crisis in Rivers.
But
Tinubu, wait a little. Let me learn. Is the one fueling the rift in Rivers. He knows that the rift in Rivers is as a result of the differences between Wike and Fubara. Call Wike now. Say, please, pipe low. Let us build the country. What will that do to him? Wike will listen to him. If Wike decides not to listen to him, he will lose his job. And Wike does not want to lose it. Look, we are not children. We are not children. Our minds, our brains are working. Our eyes are seeing, and our minds are working.
Do you remember that the
Let me land, please. I will listen to you. Okay. Let me land. I will listen to you.
That's right. That's right.
You get what I'm saying? Instead of doing that, he kept quiet. And the reason he got for instituting the state of emergency in the state is that pipelines are being blown. Okay, is that the solution? If pipelines are being blown, even if the pipelines are blown, you don't know why the pipelines are being blown. That cannot be disconnected from the upheavals between Wike and Fubara. Solve it from that end, and you will write your name in gold. And you will write your name in gold. This one that he has done, people are seeing his nakedness. That is the one fueling the crisis
but
in Rivers.
The state of emergency, when a state of emergency is being declared in a state, is maybe something is going wrong, and someone has seen ahead that if state of emergency is not being declared, there is going to be a lot of instability, a lot of crisis, and all of that. Lives may be lost. And the president said the state of emergency is being declared because of peace. Because we talked about vandalizing pipelines right now. Apart from that, don't you think it may escalate into other things, and then that has necessitated the state of emergency, even though some persons from different quarters have different perspective to it, like you're saying now? But then the president didn't keep quiet. Probably what he did is because okay, the two of you are struggling for this position. What we need to do to settle this case, as we are trying to settle this situation, somebody else should be there. Then we will do our underground checks and settle the situation. Don't you think that would have been better, instead of throwing the whole River State into chaos, into a place that is being handled unconstitutionally, violence, protests, and lives and properties being lost?
Now, let me tell you, Ramsey, look, my makeup, I am not a sycophant, and I don't panel beat issues. I don't move round and round. I move straight away. I move straight away to the point. What are those things that are happening in Rivers that are not happening elsewhere? What are those things that are happening in Rivers that would necessitate the state of emergency that are not happening elsewhere? Some few days ago, about 70 people were massacred in Plateau. About 70 people were massacred in Plateau. And then compare that to the pipeline that was blown. Lies! Why didn't he declare the state of emergency there? Why? For more than close to 20 years, the Boko Harams are in the northeast. Why don't you declare the state of emergency there? Bello, TG Bello is controlling banditry in Zamfara state. Declare the state of emergency there now. Bandits are in Katsina. If you are a first timer on the road from Zaria to Katsina, pray that God takes you down safely. Pray that God takes you down safely. Declare the state of emergency there now. Declare the state of emergency there now. Where lives are involved, you don't declare the state of emergency. You say, okay, because the crude is the treasure base of the nation. You got the money and you lose people. That means you don't have value for the lives of the people that you are ruling. I have told you how the situation in Rivers would have been handled. A single phone call to Wike is enough. And even right now, the problem is still there. The administration there is by coercion. Is by coercion. It is not from the volition, the willingness of the people. We don't know what to do anymore. They are telling us to do this, that. And a little opportunity, another thing may erupt.
Oh, all right.
No, so the state of emergency in Rivers is not for peace to prevail, but for him to gain control and be able to transmit the PDP structures there into APC structures. That is what everybody sees. And I believe that is what you are seeing too. But as a journalist, you may not come out bluntly as I, who is a free man, a political analyst, could do. That is the undertone.
No, I'm a free man.
Just that is the undertone.
I need to be
whether Tinubu says
my
it
facts before
or he does not say it. The one of this Obasanjo did something like this during his own time, but he was straightforward. He was straightforward. But the government in power, they are behaving like a chameleon. And they want to feel that we don't have sense to diagnose into what they are saying. They are doing. Obasanjo during his time, he had a vision to get all the states for PDP, and of course, Southwest. Out of the 6 states in the Southwest, he collected 5 brutally. Yes, I mean brutally. It was clear to us, and he brought out himself clear. Tinubu, if you want to collect rivers, come out clear now. It will define you better than you coming out through the back door and behaving like a chameleon.
All right, hold your thought for a minute. As it is right now, you know, we are in the media space. We are so objective, and when we talk with facts. Not that we are afraid of saying what is real, and that's what we do. We try as much as possible to be objective. As a matter of fact, since everybody is entitled to their opinion, everything you've said now is your opinion and your perspective to the things happening in the society, which is the way it is for you. Let's go on a quick break. There is another conversation, another thing that we would also need to talk about on Global Morning today. Let's go on a quick break. Many thanks to Dr. For staying with us on Global Television, Global Morning today. After this break, we'll return for another conversation. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
addressing upkeep of 20,000 naira.
Know that you cannot talk about a healthy nation if you don't have means to produce your own in addition to importing.
The CG is the principal actor of this because it's within her jurisdiction. Minister is a supervisor.
We must run in accordance with the constitution of CAN, where you have just a single time.
The human factor, you have the infrastructural factor, then you have the mechanical factors.
The Senate, with all due respect, they were so hasty in passing that judgment.
The statement I'm about to make is we're not even aware.
That is the future.
You have to be aware before you can begin to be prepared.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
Welcome back. It is still our Global Morning, and we've been talking about the visit to the former president, and my guest is still in the studio. Now there is something that I want us to talk about, and is very important. I want to take us a little bit from the visit to the former president to what is happening in Edo State, because Edo State governor and the Edo State People's Democratic Party at loggerhead right now because of the campaign going on for His Excellency Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who in the papers this morning was speaking to supporters as regards the issue of campaigning. Our politicians are now focusing on politicking instead of governance, which is becoming worrisome, even though we know that there are times set for all these campaigns. And of course, the people who are supposed to go ahead with this campaign. I still have my guest in the studio, Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Bochenu, an elder statesman who is going to talk to us a little bit about it. It's still good to have you with us on Global Morning today. Let's go a little bit to Edo State. Because the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, we are not happy, and they didn't keep quiet. All right, about the issue of Okpebolo, the governor of Edo State, who is now campaigning, okay, setting up campaign for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2027, for 2027 presidential race. Some persons are saying that you just won from the tribunal and PDP is not satisfied yet, they've gone to appeal. Now, what you are doing, are you trying to make the people understand that whatever you are doing in Edo State, the president is behind you, or you are trying to negotiate for the support of the president by campaigning even before it's time for him against 2027? I don't know, what's your take? What's your perspective?
Ramsey, the problem we have in Nigeria is not from the commoners. It is from the oligarchs. It is from the aristocrats. is from the people of the high echelon. Is from governance. People who seem to be making laws. They are the people spoiling the country. I was in a car coming for this appointment, and the person I was in the car, when we were coming, we were on the highway coming, and somebody was, and the person became apprehensive and said, why should this person be taken one way? The person is breaking the law. I say it's not the person that is breaking the law. It's the system in the country. Can you see people drive like this in US? In the United States of America, can you see people drive like this one way? The system has made it so. Those that are in governance, they are on one way in their various separate capacities. They are on their own way. This action of Opedworo is one way. It's one way. How can you come up to begin to do campaign? Number one, it's not your time for campaign. Number two, you have a case in court which is sub judice, but you are not bothered because you feel like you can never commit any offense, provided you are a son to the CEC. You are a son to the CEC. You are covered. You are protected. You can do everything. You can do anything at all that you want to do. And the reason is simply the system. And I want to make this suggestion in a constitutional review. Let them put it as we elect the executives and we elect the legislature. Let us also elect the judiciary, people who man the judiciary. You know, the judiciary, they are the problems of this country. They are at the whims and caprices of the executive. Whatever the executive tells them to do is what they do. If you don't do it, they jet you out of office. Buhari jetted Onogen out of office because he knew that Onogen would not do what he would want him to do, and brought Tanko. That is how it is. And so, if the constitution is reviewed in such a way that judges are elected from how do we call it, the magistrate court down to the Supreme Court, they will be autonomous. Judges are not autonomous. If you wouldn't do the biddings of the executive, then you are indirectly throwing in your resignation letter. So I want to propose, before we get a steady justice in Nigeria, I'm not appointed. Let them be elected. I'm not appointed. What Opedworo has done, do you know that if the law journey complain in court against him, it will still be the same story. Nothing strongly will be done about him. And he has that feeling. If not, why will you be going about campaigning? You don't have shame. People who don't even have cases in court, they are not campaigning. You who have cases in court, you are campaigning. And I want to your line of reasoning that probably he is trying to win the favor of the CEC. which favor are you trying to win again? You're already a governor. Relax and do your government. And carry out your administration. Which other thing do you want? You want him to give you second term there? Finish the first term first now. So that is how it is. So I may be tempted to toe your line of reasoning that maybe he wants to win the favor of the CNC, and that is what is spoiling Nigeria.
That is not my line of reasoning anyway. That's what some Nigerians are saying. We're just trying to say what Nigerians are saying, not my personal opinion. But then let's get to these facts now. Apart from just Okpebholo, a lot of people are focusing on 2027 and forgetting about governance. How can this situation be arrested? Because eyes are already on 2027. We're in 2025. I think probably a year plus before we get into the elections. Campaigns will soon hit the road, even though it's not time yet. Why are people focusing? Some people is it distraction, or is it that they are doing it deliberately? Not just Okpebholo. There are a lot of things going on the ground. There are people from the north who have been singing campaign. You know, as a lot of things happening. What do we do to get these things corrected? Because what we need right now is proper governance, looking at what is happening instead of politicking for 2027. Why not face governance? Even the president himself came out in one of the papers this morning to talk to the supporters, to say it's not yet time.
People who are talking about 2027 may have some psychiatric problems. That is my take. 2027 is too premature to be talked about. It is too premature to talk about 2027. My take in this matter is to toe the part of Natasha Akpoti Oduogan, the senator representing Kogi Central. You know, when people were talking about how you are becoming too popular, are you wielding some interest towards 2027? He said, no, I am not talking about 2027 yet, because I don't know whether I may even live up to that time. I am concerned about the now. And that should be the reasoning of everybody. Do you know whether you will live till 2027? If anybody told you that today Taoreed Lagbaja will not be alive, would you believe it? But he is gone. He is gone. Anybody can go. Even the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can go. He can go. 2027, it is too premature to begin to talk about 2027. My take on the matter is for everybody to relax. Let the atmosphere be calm. Let governance go ahead. Those who are in government, let them deliver good governance to us. And those of us that are being governed, let's watch carefully. If they do well, we re-elect them. If they don't do well, we vote them out. If our votes would count. If our votes would count. And my advice to those in government is to make sure that they deliver good governance. That they deliver good governance. If they don't deliver good governance and they are into suppressing the people, they should know that God is there watching us, and God can do whatever he wants to do any moment, any time. God is the owner of the air you are breathing. The blood that flow in your vein, God made them. God made them. You are not alive because of the medical attentions that you receive. You are alive because God protects you. God sustains you. So you should think on making God happy. Making God happy is making his children happy.
Oh, all right.
Rather than to begin to talk about 2027, but when you have not gone halfway your first tenure.
There is this saying that every good most politicians start planning for the next election the first day they get into office. That's what some people believe. But this presidency today, even in the Nigerian News Direct, they said they are focused on revitalizing the economy and, of course, handling the insecurity and not 2027. The presidency said that in Nigerian News Direct newspaper this morning.
Let it be as they have said. They may be saying something and may be meaning another thing at the undertone. It may surprise you to find out that all these people that are doing these things, they are the ones sending them. But in the open, they don't want people to know that they are the ones sending them. If they mean what they have said, then glory be to God.
All right, that's okay. Many thanks for joining us today. It's been established already. 2027. Well, so much will be going down in 2027, but then governance, politicking, and of course the dividends of democracy very important. Many thanks once again, Doctor, for joining us on the conversation today.
My pleasure.
All right, as a matter of fact, this is going to be the size of the conversation today. And of course, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll bring the Global Morning to a close. These are perspectives. These are opinions of an elder statesman, which is entirely his opinion and not that of Global Television. And as a matter of fact, you have your own opinion too. You can go on our social media to drop your own opinion for us, and we'll pick it up from there. We are at Global TV NG on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let's get talking all the time. Let's go to a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we'll bring Global Morning to a close after this break. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day. Well, as a matter of fact, you can't finish talking about these discussions are not something that you can finish in a day. You want to talk about Nigeria? Is it politics? You will keep talking about it. Is it national interest? You keep talking about it. Is it societal development? You keep talking about it from the human angle, from politics, from religion, everywhere. We can't finish talking about it. But then, presidency came out in the Nigerian News Direct newspaper this morning to say, well, we are focusing on revitalization of the economy and, of course, how to handle the security situation and not 2027. Then a governor somewhere is launching a campaign for the president for 2027, and the People's Democratic Party, I'm talking about Okpebholo here of Edo State, you know, his case, the tribunal just affirmed him as the substantial governor of Edo State. Exactly. But then PDP, still not satisfied, still appealing, you know, and of course, him launching a campaign for the president. Now they are trying to say, come, is this some form of lobby? Because like my guest just said now, the judiciary, the judicial officers are being elected, are being appointed and not elected. So sometimes there is a clash, you know, the separation of power is not totally 100% in play based on what people are thinking and human perspective. And for him as a governor to be launching a support for President Bola Tinubu against 2027, that campaign, PDP is not quite satisfied with it.
No, they're not quite satisfied. And that's why I like what the Tinubu-led administration, what they came out to say that, okay, please, the campaign, everybody, it should be on hold for now. That's not the issue now. So for every rumor surrounding all of that, thinking that people are trying to lobby their way in, like your guest mentioned, and like you are mentioning now, I don't think it has anything to do with that. People are just, you know, it's just a spontaneous act. But let's just see how well it plays out. You know, we can never stop talking about politics. We can never stop talking about issues making rounds at about this point. But, you know, that's how it is. That's Nigeria.
Like I said, you can't finish talking about the issues of Nigeria. But then it's so good that Global Morning will still come on your way tomorrow again for another wonderful conversation. Exactly. It's been a wonderful time with the Monday Tag Team. And this is where we'll be drawing the curtain. Yes. Okay. But then, very good. The Global Morning is coming to an end now, but we have a lot of other programs lined up for you, for your viewing pleasure on DSTV channel 365 and of course Star Times channel 276.
I know, but we have an app store, you know, iOS and Play Store, App Store. You can actually download the Global TV Nigerian app and watch us anywhere, wherever you are.
We are global.
We are global, just like the name Global Television. And with that, like Ramsey has mentioned, we have to wrap it up on the program Global Morning. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program with us, right, Ramsey? And from the Monday Tag Team, I am Dubai Manzin. I'm my co-host that wears amazing glasses.
Well, my name is Ramsey Okago, and it's so good that this tag team will be going off your screen right now, but the programs are coming in. So from us, it is have a beautiful